Hey guys, Magna back here with some more Legacy of the Void games. Today let's take a look at a game between Neuro and Verdi, or Verdi, I don't know how you pronounce that. Kind of a knob as far as pronouncing words that I don't speak the language that they kind of emulate, which this sounds like Italian or something like that. But this replay posted to us courtesy of Neuro. Check out his stream, which I'm going to link down there in the bottom. And by the way, guys, if you know any streamers out there that want to get their replays casted, have them send them over to me, and I'll gladly link their stream in return. So just kind of throwing that out there because I do want to give you guys the most content possible. But Neuro is our Zerg. He's red over here on the right, the other side of the map. Blue Protoss, so we're going to have a ZvP here. Kind of see how these guys are matching up against one another. And it looks like this is actually going to be a Nexus first here from the Protoss versus a Hatch first from the Zerg. So this is not too terribly unusual. I'm actually kind of curious what the follow-ups are going to be here from the Protoss, considering we've watched a few ZvPs, but for the most part we have seen like basically zero forge usage, considering I've declared it to be pretty much dead. And yeah, it's going to be Nexus into Gate, which in the past was a build that basically says if I get attacked at all in the early game, I'm basically dead. But if you measure it up against a lot of other builds out there, it's actually a lot more reasonable considering how late the Zerg's potential super early pools would be going down in comparison to the older iterations of StarCraft. So it is just going to be Nexus into Gateway. I'd be shocked if I see a lot of Forge play in this matchup from this point forward, if it's not for something aggressive like Cannon Rush. By the way, this is 2 hatch before pool, so Neuro really laying on the economic speed here. I did read in another stream chat that 2 hatch before pool actually does not help you economically in any way, but I'm not totally sure how those numbers match up, or if it's still kind of unknown because people don't really have perfected builders down yet. But my inkling would be that this is probably still going to be a thing, so I guess we'll have to see how it shapes up over time, because that's really what we're going to have to see with pretty much everything in this game, is how long can we go before we finally start to figure out how the game actually works. Cybernetics core coming down here from the Protoss, nothing too surprising, not even really making a unit off of this, considering he should have actually seen what was going on. He does see the third base here coming down here for Neuro, so nothing too wild happening right now. Pool's going to finish up, no gas mining, so we won't see any fast speed or anything like that. This is about as economical as each side can be without just being insane. So Protoss could always just say, oh, I'm just going to take another base right now, but that's basically asking to lose. So this is about as greedy as you can get. Here's the first divergence in the game so far. It's going to be a Stargate. Not totally sure what it's going to be for, considering we haven't seen a lot of these timings match up yet. And if you're used to playing Protoss in this matchup, you might see the timer and say 2-minute and 40-second Stargate. That doesn't sound safe at all. Especially this 2-minute, or excuse me, about 3-minute Nexus. It's about as fast as you can possibly get. I would imagine this is probably going to be for Oracles to defend against any sort of super fast Zergling play. And this is something we haven't seen yet in any of the videos that I've casted, are the usage of Adepts. So these guys are interesting. They do fire pretty slowly. They move kind of slowly. They have that whole like send out a blank copy of yourself and then teleport there after a set amount of time. And they have a bonus to light damage as well. So like we predicted, it is going to be Oracle as well as an Adept to clog the wall here. Totally not sure how these guys mix into a battle. So we'll have to see how that goes. And by the way, just judging from the portrait, I guess the Adept is supposed to be a female unit, which I hadn't really paid too much attention to, but we'll have to see. Robo coming down at the third base. So this is basically saying, I just hope that I don't get attacked, because if I lose the Nexus and the Robo, then I'm back in the Stone Ages and I have basically no claim to pretty much anything in this game. So Lair coming down right now for the Zerg. Again, this is about as greedy as you can possibly get. And we're going to see all kinds of weird stuff for a little while until we start to figure out the game. Oracle coming across the map. Neuro's going to know about it as he does see the Oracle fly in. Second Oracle on the way as well. So not totally sure what this is going to amount to, whether he's just going to use these for, say, like the stasis wards, as I've been corrected to say. The ward coming down here, and holy crap, it actually hits every single worker in the line here, which is going to cost him a lot of mineral mining. So this is an interesting little play. I wonder if it's supposed to be more beneficial than just trying to kill drones with that, but the mining time lost alone can be a big deal, especially if he's planning on following it up with a timing attack, where these lost minerals will actually matter. So you can basically say in those times that they were stuck in that stasis, that they are basically on 2 bases worth of mining. So kind of an interesting play. Not really sure if it worked out too much. It's hard to judge a lot of these things. In the meantime, we do see a Warp Prism, a Void Ray, and a Robo-Bay coming down all at the same time. So all kinds of interesting stuff coming out. Zerg, meanwhile, just getting 1/1 upgrades. Nothing too crazy. Here comes another Stasis Mine, or Ward as we can call it, hitting a bunch more drones here. And again, I'm not totally sure how economic this is. But again, at the same time, you're just basically expending energy. Your Oracle is pretty safe throughout most of this, so it's probably not a bad play, especially if you can keep it up for pretty much every time that the ward is ready to be redeployed. In the meantime, though, disruptor drops are definitely going to be what's on the menu, so we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. In response, Hydralisk Den is going to be the tech of choice here from Neuro, even though he's getting 1/1 melee. So that's kind of an interesting decision there, as he does have Roach speed, he's going to have Hydralisks. I wonder if getting the 1/1 melee was actually a mistake or not, or if he's planning a later game transition, because it's going to be a little bit weird considering he barely even has really any units on the map at all, just 1 Ling, 5 Queens versus the Protoss, who's definitely teching up really hard. Here's another mine coming down, or Stasis War as we can call it, and it does nab a bunch more drones here. So the weird thing about this is that it's going to be a little bit hard to tell how badly the Zerg is hurt by stuff like this. You can see that they are a little bit behind in economy, so for about, half a minute they're going to lose maybe, it looks like maybe 200 minerals. We should keep an eye on that, but again, this isn't a full base mining, so I guess if you shut down the whole base, it would be something like, whatever 1/3 of this is, I can do math, maybe 600 minerals. I think the ward only lasts for maybe 30 seconds, so maybe 300 minerals lost. I don't know if it's going to wind up being all that useful. By the way, Adept attack upgrade coming down here. I don't even know what this is called because I can't mouse over it, but it's whatever the Adept does. Basically, the explanation is that if the Adept kills a unit with an attack, that attack will bounce to another target after hitting the killed one. So basically adds a bounce shot here, and this is a lot of Adepts, a couple Disruptors, a Sentry, and a Void Ray. This is really strange, by the way, and I think we just got another Stasis coming down here, hitting just a handful of drones, so not really doing too much. You have to wonder, again, if it's really worth it to kill the drones, or if it's worth it just to put them in stasis for a little while. More Adepts coming up here, so this is just basically a straight-up Adept rush. On the other side, since there's a lot of Hydras here, these Adepts are actually going to do really well against this army composition. Lurker Den is coming down right now, as it is transforming. Hive coming down as well. It looks like Neuro's actually just going to get caught with his pants down, so he may just die with this fairly quickly, considering it doesn't seem like he really has a good grasp on what's coming across the map right now. And he's going to now see it entering his creep right now, and that's going to be a big problem for him, considering there's 3 Disruptors, all kinds of Adepts in here. If these Disruptors just merely get good hits, I don't know how this Protoss army is going to lose. One great hit, another great hit all over the Hydras, and you can see this Protoss army starting to really power through. It's especially good because if these Adepts actually kill these Lings, the attack should bounce to another target and deal quite a bit of damage. Still, the supplies are relatively even. Neuro does have these Ravagers mixed in here that he can bomb on top of the Protoss army. And look how cool this is. He can actually chase down the army with these Adepts and just put them right in front of his face and say, you know what, you're trying to run away, but all of a sudden my army is just going to be right on top of you when you least expect it. So while these things are actually in pretty slow movement, the teleport speed, or whatever you want to call that's actually pretty fast. And it looks like Verdi actually just left the game. So that was a really strange ending to that game. It says Verdi was defeated and Neuro was victorious. I guess he just judged that that did not work, I suppose, because he could have probably just as easily recalled if he still has his Mothership Core, which it looks like he doesn't. The Queens were holding off the Adepts pretty well. Stalkers were still being warped in. This is not that uneven of a game. It could have also been a kind of a test to see how well that type of build order would work, but I think the biggest weakness was that he was not actually killing drones with his Oracles, and he was choosing to put out a lot of these Adepts, which did okay, but then they seem to really lose their effectiveness once different unit compositions get on the field. Their damage is actually really bad against non-light units, so I think we're going to have to see a lot of reworkings with this unit as far as it becoming more viable as a core unit, as Blizzard likes to say it should be, because I don't really know if I can justify making these a lot of times over making Zealots against the type of targets that they would be good against, especially against Zerg, especially Zealots with charge. So I don't I don't know what to say about that. That was a strange game, but at least showcased some interesting use of the stasis wards, interesting use of the adepts, which we haven't quite seen yet, but the game just kind of ended in the middle of it. So we also don't know if it could have been like a disconnect or something weird as well, but basically just kind of bringing you guys replays a little bit unfiltered and trying to show you guys some stuff that we haven't quite seen before, so you have a good idea of how stuff works. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Check out Neuro's stream, which I'm going to link down there in the description, so look out for that. I'm actually probably going to do another Neuro game since he just sent me a big replay pack. So look out for that in the very near future, and I'll be back real soon with more videos. Take care.